DragusCloud side, he's using the blue heart option. The different colored hearts option was meant as an accessibility. I know some people have some different color blindness issues, especially with the color red. So the programmers opted to allow changing around of the colors to be easily able to see exactly, how much health you have. So we start with the Ether Medallion, which is literally worthless to us until we get a sword.
Right. And of course, Uncle making the very astute observation about why is there only one bed in our house?
It's a Super Nintendo era video game. No parents ever slept in beds.
Ah, that is true. Uh-oh, it's a bomb start.
Oh, bombs to start. The nice thing about bombs is if you're well practiced in bombs, you can still make it through with a reasonable amount of time. And if your opponent is someone who isn't, I think there's a significant time difference between those who are well practiced and those who are not. Bows, swords, fire rods, things of that nature, I think you can still have a reasonably good time. But if you're not practicing bombs and you face someone who is practicing bombs, there's just a massive time difference.
All right. So, both of our runners making their way into the first area of Hyrule Castle. Looks like we found the single arrow as well. Just glorious. But we're coming up against the first enemy that must be killed. This blue guard.
Oh, and Dragus trying to open up the treasure chest to start. Looks like they're using kind of suicide strats, holding the bomb until the enemies get close to you. Khanster already down to 1 heart. Dragus at 2. This is the problem with those suicide strats. You take a lot of damage.
Yeah, I expect both runners to pick up this pot with the heart under it, throw it at the remaining guard. Potentially get some more drops, and then we'll be heading to the next room that requires a killed enemy. That's this green guard in the next room. Only 1 bomb needed to destroy it. But, of course, if you catch his attention, he'll come chasing after you.
All right, so, Dragus is in trouble. And suicide explosion right there. We'll have to take a death, and we'll start back at the beginning.
Meanwhile, it looks like Khanster will be okay. Yes, getting the guard stuck between those statues.
Yeah, still only 1 heart. But on the plus side, it does happen to... we'll pick up the pots and get some hearts down here. I imagine he's going to go pot strats. Still with 2 bombs as well. This is going to be interesting. If he can manage to only use 1 bomb on the rat in the basement, he will still have 1 more bomb to get through the entirety of the escape and get the bomb of a wall.
Right. So this ball and chain guard, of course, when you've got a limited amount of resources, you do not want to use that to destroy the bomb guard. Single rupee as well. That's not going to work out the way you want it to, Khanster. Well, you might get more bombs. Yep, you got 1 more bomb for doing that.
You know what? That's a fine strat if you're going to do it. I did not realize that, but it's well done.
So you'll note that DragusCloud, after taking that death, actually had a full complement of 10. The only problem is now you have to kill this green guard. So it's kind of a wash.
A little bit, unfortunately. So just to highlight, in this part of Escape, we've seen an early Ether, which is worthless without a sword. We've seen Fisher-Price, My First Shield, which kind of worthless at the moment. We've seen a single rupee and the single arrow in addition to the bombs that we got. This is not ideal, I would say.
Yeah, not getting much in terms of progression here. The only progression so far is that ether medallion, and that requires something else to use.
Yeah, this is the most empty escape I have ever seen. Now, we still have 5 treasures in the whole escape sequence to get yet. We have 1 in the dark room, 3 behind the abominable wall, and then, of course, the 1 in Sanctuary. We have already picked up the map, so we know there's going to be something in all 5 of these.
Well, the small key will be in the first one.
Oh, poo. You're right. All right, so Khanster making his way back, working through a little bit smoother than Dragus at this point in time. We're already past the 6-minute mark, which is kind of where you want to be in most escape runs. However, I think you're forgiven for not getting a 6-minute escape with through this portion of it with bombs. And unfortunately, Khanster used both bombs. He missed his first bomb on the rat, so he's going to have to bypass this particular room, which is not fun. We'll see if Dragus can hold on to some bombs here.
Yeah. The bomb, or the key rat here, is what is known as the true final boss of escape. Because it can troll the snot out of you.
Oh, Dragus got really lucky. That rat just ran right into the explosion cloud after he dropped the bomb. That's going to be significant because Dragus can now go ahead and throw the bomb into the bombable wall. This will have a slight advantage for Dragus.
All right, let's see how slight this advantage is. We've got just a bunch of money, so not a big deal right now. I guess there was also a big 20 in the chest upstairs, so really not forthcoming with the information at the moment.
Not at all. The tree pole was 20 rupees at that point in time, so any advantage that Dragus might have gained from having enough money to buy bombs negated immediately with the pull of a tree.
Yeah, so the tier 2 tree pull corresponding to what's usually the tier 3 tree pull.
Now, it's a little early before we start labeling this seed a quote-unquote troll seed or a jet seed or any other sort of seed types. We have blue mail sitting in the mushroom spot.
Yep, small consolation after having to deal with that escape. Just a piece of heart in the thieves' hideout. Now, Dragus is completely skipping the lumberjack cave check. That's all right.
So it'll be interesting to see what Khanster decides to do at this point in time, if he decides to go ahead and route down to the south to purchase some more bombs, or if he's going to try to get lucky at Blind's Hut. And it does look like he's going straight... Oh, no.
Oh, he's buying the bottle vendor's item. It's going to come up a little short now.
He's going to come up a lot short now.
Oh, I see. He's going to go for the 50-50 bush here. It's not... No, keep going. It's on the 4th column to the right. There it is.
So Khanster now going to be farming up some bombs. We have Quake Medallion in... Oh my goodness.
Quack in the tavern.
So Dragus just saying, nah, I'm just going to buy some bombs. This is really, I would say, unusual that we're getting 2 medallions before we get any other, viable weapon at this point.
And certainly no sword to use that medallion. Alright, so +5 arrows from the chicken hut, and Dragus will be picking up that piece of heart. And then heading up to our extremely chest-dense Kakariko well and blinds hut.
Yep. Let's see, there is 10 treasure chests between these 2 spots, so if we're going to have progression, it feels like it's going to be here, just statistically.
Could be stacked the other direction, but you never know. There are the flippers, so that's something.
Flippers in the water well? Okay.
There's the other single green rupee, so we know where the 2 green rupees and the single arrow were.
This seed is being a little bit mean towards these guys, I think. And we have a little bit of sync as they're both going to Blind's hut.
Right, 1 heart container. Help you out there. A little bit of bombs, you would have been fine if you gambled the house. And the boots! So all the progression behind the bomb locked spots.
I mean, they gave you bombs, so I guess?
And interestingly enough, DragusCloud deciding to skip out on the race game and the library check, even though he just picked up the boots.
That's interesting. I wonder if he thinks I will eventually come back here anyway. Might as well pass it. I don't know. But with those boots, I think you want to check everything that you can with the boots right away.
That is somewhat reasonable. In fact, both of the items behind those bomb lock locations were footwear, which is hilarious. We've also got the magic powder in the dam, which is the best.
Does that mean that those bombable walls were really foot lockers?
Yes.
Come on.
That is correct.
Oh!
And there's the hammer in the dam. And a sword on library.
Oh, Dragus is going to be so upset with himself that he missed that. That's a gamble that did not pay off.
Oh man, if Dragus had that sword, he could use the ether medallion to take out these mini Moldworms.
He could, and Khanster looks like he found something in the race game.
He's going for it. Hey, it's the Cane of Brian, or Berna as it is actually called.
It's my favorite cane ever.
All right.
Oh, Dragus getting bodied around here in the South Shore area between the crows and the electric pickles.
Yep, at least he's not getting bodied by crabs. Crabs are the worst.
Yeah, I just hate it when I have crabs in the area. That's the worst thing you could possibly hope for. Yeah, Dragus got to be careful.
Speaking of crabs, ooh. Unable to reach that ice rod cave.
first map check. Looks like crystals at Eastern and Desert, and then the green pendant up at Tower of Hera.
All right, so we've got an interesting play from DragusCloud going for the flipper spots right now.
Oh, I don't know if I like seeing that. Shovel on the Lake Hylia Island.
Yep, so that's basically just a giant question mark sitting there. Meanwhile, Khanster is going for Agina's cave. Ah, I see. Going for the hobo first, then go South Shore. That's not the worst idea I've ever heard of.
No, not at all.
It's actually probably a pretty good idea. Oh wait, no. Dragus has already done South Shore. I got our runners mixed up.
So Khanster is now going over here, checking just what's on the desert ledge, and just a bomb upgrade before saving and quitting. We do see some interesting routing. Dragus, this isn't logic, of course. The waterfall ferry, 20 rupees, and just a piece of heart. Very healthy seed up to this point in time.
Now, one unfortunate side effect of the stingy opening here is a lack of rupees for Zora. Just a big heart on the ledge. And Khanster, unfortunately, does not have enough magic to use the Ether Medallion, but can at least use a sword.
So Dragus looks like he's going over here, going to check the Bonk Rocks, which is, of course, an item that's unlocked specifically with the boots. Still a little bit confused. He really needs to be getting down there and checking that library ledge.
Just a big old 20.
Well, we've checked a lot of the locations that we already have. It's Ice Rod Cave is pretty much it at this point.
Well, we also haven't checked Eastern.
Oh, this is true. Eastern could very well have quite a few items there.
Dragus came up to check the Lumberjack Cave on account of finding those boots. Boots, of course, making it infinitely more likely that you need to get something from there. Now Dragus will be heading over to Eastern Palace.
Looks like Khanster is going to be setting up and doing, going up to the Zora area. Again, not enough rupees to do Zora himself, but certainly can check the same Waterfall Ferry and the Zora Ledge location.
Alright, so we got a bottle in the back of Sahasrala's hut. That will give Dragus an excuse to go back to Kakariko.
That's good for Dragus at this point in time. It's a green goo in a bottle. You better drink me to cast magic.
Oh,
No?
that'll do.
I don't know what was going through my mind there.
I find fairy in a bottle works best with that.
That's
particular
fair.
lyric.
Fairy in a bottle is probably a better parody for that one.
Unfortunately, it wasn't there. Just a piece of heart from the sick kid, but Dragus knows what he missed.
Does Dragus know what he missed? Oh!
No, he does. Sort of. There's also Magic Bat. I had completely forgotten that the hammer and the powder which were literally right next to each other, grant you access to Magic Bat.
They were right next to each other, weren't they? This might be it.
Nope, just to the
No.
Now, Khanster looks like is going to be heading for that Eastern play.
And oh, look, Dragus. Don't you wish you would have came here first?
Oh, boy.
All right, so Khanster's making the play that really is the only logic that we have at this point in time, doesn't he?
Yep, there's nothing... Well, that and Zora. We haven't seen Zora.
That would be horrible if these guys were forced to farm up rupees in order
without the gloves.
Yeah, without the gloves. I mean, what do you do? Is it Blind's Basement is the best spot?
Yeah. It's 30 rupees in there, and that's the worst.
So Dragus looks like he's going over to Eastern. Khanster not finding anything so far. I think if I were these guys, the one thing I would not want to find, and there's a couple treasure... Well, there's only one treasure location possible left for Khanster. There's either this one, or if it's... If he gets the big key, then it's in the big treasure chest, but... you're hoping not for a lamp and sword or cape combo.
Hey, there's a glove. That'll feel good. We can also pick up some rupees in the back if we want to.
It's a little. It can be a little tricky navigating the dark rooms to get up to that.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Though, you could get my favorite tactic in that dark room. Assuming he finds some magic.
Oh, using Eastern to light, ether to light the whole thing up?
Yeah, you use ether, it basically freezes all of the little squiggle dudes. And then you can navigate based on that.
Chat also mentioned Houlihan, which could be viable. The problem with Houlihan is the primary setup that most people use for Houlihan requires that you don't have the flippers.
But now that they have the glove, there is another setup that can be done.
Relatively easily, yes.
Yeah, and I think with the boots, there was another setup you could do. It involves a bit of a process, but you can get there.
So Khanster going ahead and backing out. He did not find anything. Let's see.
He found the glove.
Okay, he found the glove. Dragus is opting not to do the dark rooms, keeping it in logic, and is saving and quitting. So these two are pretty well neck and neck. Khanster does have to go over here and do the back of escape, though, because he did not have the bombs at the time.
Yeah, he's probably thinking, oh no, back of escape. This is not going to work out for Dragus as much as he wants it to.
It is not. So, Zora? Are we down to Zora?
I think we may be down to Zora.
All right, let's get our best farming songs that we can possibly think of. Anyone know any good country? I mean, I know that's silly, but we need some good farming music now.
Country. But I don't know if there are too many of them about farming.
She thinks my tractor's sexy.
There you go. Oh, we can do Amish Paradise.
I churned butter once or twice, living. Yeah.
As I walk through the valley where I harvest my rupees. Anyway, I'm done.
Conster is checking this magic bat cave, so these two are going to be checking some of the other locations on pretty well everything until they realize that they're going to have to start farming. Or
Dragus is just sequence breaking it. So you know where the best place to farm is, right? It's a tier 2 tree pole.
Oh yeah, we had 2046. You get 80 rupees per, and that's knowledge they should both have right now.
Yeah, they did bonk rocks. It was a big 20.
Oh my.
Got a Master Sword over here. And if Zora had the lamp, that could be the Aga play, requiring the Moon Pearl on the pyramid.
It's absolutely possible, and it looks like, okay, is Conter going to go over here into the tree pole, or is he going to... Yes, he's going to sequence break as well. Oh, there's a Moon Pearl!
Well, never mind. So it looks like we have sequence broken around either the lamp or the flute here.
So that, I mean, great sequence break by both these runners. Dragus a little bit ahead right now. Yeah, that's the play. I mean, he will have lamp or flute, period. At this point, I'm going to guess the flute. Lamp would be super trolly because it would absolutely start pointing you towards Aghanim, but nope.
He could also have, say, book and, say, lamp or flute be in desert. Some other random stuff like that. But he's going to have something that leads to lamp or flute. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So Dragus, starting off his sequence breaking, is going right to Hype Cave. So chat, Hype Cave is going to be hype. We've had some really hype caves. We've also had some really dud caves as well. So is this going to have all our progression or none of it?
Well, we haven't had anything so far, so surely there's something in here. How about a mirror?
Hey, I'll take a mirror.
And a B, and a big 20, and a bomb upgrade, and a half magic.
B minus Hype Cave. Sufficiently hype. Mirror is always nice.
Pretty sure that was a B plus cave on account of having the B.
Oh, boo. Boo to you, sir.
Could have been a B flat cave.
Wasn't that Homer's a cappella band called B Sharps in The Simpsons?
Interesting.
Anyway.
And Dragus is actually going straight for that shovel. Remembering that you've got the mirror now, you can go grab it.
That's a heads-up play. Okay, so this is interesting. Both Turtle Rock and Skullwoods are going to be our other two pendants. So the only two things that technically require the Fire Rod are pendants.
Yeah, we
We
could have
might
no
not need
magic
the fire
rods.
rod.
Yeah, for all we know, both of the magic rods could be in Ganon's tower.
And an early pod dip by Dragus. This is how shall we say, gutsy? There's nothing in this first treasure chest, all of pod is considered bow locked and won't be accessible until we have the bow.
Yeah. If you find a bow, if you find a key in there, then you got a couple more chests that need to have a key. Another key would give you one more chest that needs to have a key. And then if you find 3 chests in all of those 4, or 3 keys in all those 4 chests, the rest of pod, minus the bowlock side, becomes available.
Looks like Khanster might be making a similar play up to remember that, hey, there's a fetch quest up here I'm going to need to grab.
We do have a key in the first chest. That means we'll get to see some more of pod here. I kind of feel like I might just go do that fetch quest after picking it up.
It feels like a good play. It's kind of locked behind certain logic at this point in time, so it very well could be something at this point. And our first real route divergence here, Khanster looks like he's going to turn in that fetch quest while Dragus is still working his way through Eastern, and he has tempered.
Very nice. Now, if there's not a small key on this bridge chest, we're once again bow locked.
Oh, that was a great pull by Khanster. Titan's mitts.
The Titan's mitts in the dig spot. Oh my goodness.
So that shovel was absolutely required. Fetch quests having the hype right now.
Greg is finding a burrito and gonna go into the dark room with some rupees and some anti-fairies. This would be a place to pick up some rupees for Zora if you could see what was going on. So I would not want to take the chance that the flute isn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I think he's aware of that. He's picking up as many rupees as he can right now.
Yeah. And that being said, so the flute could be there, the lamp could be there, but Zora is, kind of inconvenient now. But maybe you can route it in with Catfish later. Khanster, on the other hand, going for the West Dark World play.
It's kind of inconvenient, but it's absolutely required that we know at this point. We know Misery Mire, Palace of Darkness, Eastern Palace, all have dark rooms that are required to get through, so the lamp is required, plus Misery Mire requires the flute. So Zora's a required check this time.
Yeah, and I was trying to remember what I was going to say. Yeah, we did see that Mire and Thieves Town were the 5/6 crystals, so that's going to be potentially weighing on their mind. Because if the flute was the thing that gave them Death Mountain access, then they could have access to Pyramid Fairy right now. Well, once they find the cane. I know how this game works. No, not. No, it's Skull Woods that is a pendant, not Swamp Palace.
Yeah, Skullwoods, the one with the giant bug, which we're actually pretty well equipped to deal with right now other than the fire rod. All right, and Conster finds 300 rupees sitting in the Hammerpeg's cave. That's going to get him his Zora money.
Yeah, I'd be beelining it for Zora pretty much as soon as I could, knowing that that's basically the only thing I sequence broke around.
Seems like a real solid strategy to go ahead and do that. Definitely want to try to get some efficient routing in with this, with the items that Conster and Dragus will have available to them. You can kind of sweep through that North Hyrule route. If you haven't already done Bonk Rocks, do that. You can get the Graveyard Ledge, you can get King's Tomb, and then you can kind of route over and get Catfish with the Zora area.
Yep, and we see Conster leaving the purple chest behind, and I think he's going to do just that.
And looks like Dragus did also pick up his Titan's Mint, so he'll be doing this routing right now. Conster, meanwhile, filling out his map to know exactly where he's going to have to go. Oh.
Stop the presses, we've got a bow.
All of a sudden, that desert, or that eastern and pod combo is starting to look a little bit more attractive, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Although I imagine Dragus will probably just go ahead and hit up some of this other while he's got the chance.
So I want to know, did Conster just bypass that? I mean, I think he went over in the light world, so he didn't route that quite as efficiently as Dragus did.
Yeah, he decided to use the portal north of Kakariko Village, taking advantage of that glove. Because he was actually in the light world when he did the shovel check. He just jumped off the island.
Yeah. So interesting. I mean, I would say Conster probably made the smarter play at the time, following the logic and the fetch quest to go immediately turn it in. But because Dragus was already in the dark world, he could route some other things together and just prove more beneficial to him in that specific case. So Dragus is now going to pick up his 300 rupees, be set to go for Zora. It's just in a pretty good spot right now.
And we've got the tempered sword as well, going to make that inevitable dip into Thieves Town a little easier.
Conster getting ready to use my favorite weapon of all time, the Cane of Burna, in this horrible hellway.
All right. Also makes the boss of this dungeon sort of a trivial exercise.
That it does, and it's just a fun item to use if you don't mind, moving at half speed because the game is lagging so much.
All right, so the blacksmiths coming up their thing, and now Dragus also leaving behind the purple chest, which is not completely outside the realm of logic.
If that purple chest holds something, both of these runners are going to be feeling pretty silly about themselves, but because they're almost following in each other's footsteps at this point in time, it's not going to harm either of them right now.
So, hang on just a minute. So we're looking for Kane, we're looking for Hookshot, and we're looking for Flute. I think that's it.
Well, and we don't know if it's Flute or Lamp, and we'll need both of them by logic to get through. But yeah, we're 4 items from Go Mode with 1 spot for 2 of them guaranteed.
Yeah, no, there's no, I mean, I like to have the lamp, but it's not absolutely necessary. Because Mire Darkrooms are a garbage fire. And there's the Cane of Samaria!
Oh my goodness.
Inside the Thieves Town big chest. Oh boy.
So that's a chest that a lot of people try to avoid checking if they can, or try to just avoid it at all possible costs. But anyway, it's avoidable in some cases, in part because the small key is actually locked in that treasure chest. It having value is really kind of interesting.
Yeah, luckily the hammer was available very early, so getting trolled to the point where you couldn't possibly access it while you're here was not really on the table. I believe that blind itself will only drop a dungeon item here.
Yep, solid counting there, Dr. Bob.
And now Khanster will be checking some more locations. Now, where does he head first? Looks like we're headed south. So we may see the digging game and cave 45 checks, or grove cave checks.
Yeah, he's going to be happy to find his bow right down here. Probably will end up doing the dig game first. Yep.
Yeah, I think he was thinking about grabbing the purple chest and then realized if he had it, the digging game proprietor would be unhappy.
All right, Khanster going back up. Oh, where's he? Oh, he's going to get the purple chest and then do that routing. It's
Right.
Okay. Now I get it.
Yeah, that's why he went to the digging game first. So he's going to be pretty happy about that bow, and he may actually finish out Palace of Darkness.
I mean, it would absolutely be in that routing logic. I would be a little bit concerned. We're still waiting for them to go up to that Zora, and we know they sequence broke the lamp or the flute to get there. If the lamp is there, I mean, that makes those terror pin rooms much, much easier.
And since there is no guarantee we will be seeing the fire rod anytime soon, seems like a pretty good idea to see if you can get the lamp from Zora before you go into pod.
I mean, I think I'm on the same page as you. I'm kind of chicken when it comes to not having the lamp. So if there's a possibility of it being somewhere, I kind of make a beeline for it.
I mean, I read your bio.
Hey now. Yep.
So I need the lamp to survive.
I'm like Jafar. First, give me the lamp!
I love it. Okay. Did Khanster lose that chest? No. Good.
He has it. Yeah, that's very nice for him.
Now, I do not expect a check on Swamp here. You really wouldn't want to go in there without the hookshot.
Oh, absolutely not. That would be... I mean, you don't need to go in there right now. You have so much else that's opened up to you. Dipping something on a gamble right now when you could clear out dungeons without making that gamble, I think, just for the sake of routing purposes, is not only risky, but I would go so far as to say not smart.
So now Khanster picked up the bow, and we'll now be heading over to Palace of Darkness, it looks like. Yeah, just going straight there. Not going to bother seeing if the lamp is on Zora.
I don't know about this, Bob.
I mean,
if he's confident in his dark rooms, that's certainly a fair play to make. I don't know. Those Terrapin dark rooms are not easy even for the most seasoned runners. So I don't know.
Yeah, you can use some medallions to kind of help you out. I think the ether medallion will freeze a Terrapin if it's been knocked over. So that actually kind of gives you some visual help. I don't know if Quake works. Though if I were programming this game, Quake would knock over those things.
See, if I were programming this game, not only, Quake would knock over them, Ether would at least freeze them in place so you could hammer them and bash them. Kind of like the Pen Gators.
Aha.
So Dragus is doing what he can to clear out Skull Woods. No chance to get much further than this. However, he feels like this is just going to be a check on his way over to, the North Hyrule route, Graveyard Ledge, and Catfish.
Yeah, and of course King's Tomb also thrown in there. Or not.
He's going to save and quit and make liars out of us both.
Seems legit.
I will say, I think the thing I need to work on.
Mountain play. It's a Death Mountain play.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. There's quite a few options up here.
Perfectly fine.
Keep in mind, this is still technically entirely sequence broken. The one thing I think we need to work on our commentary game is
Was that the hookshot? It was the hookshot.
On where? Where?
It was on the Bowlock side of Pod.
Oh.
In that bombed alcove there, so DragusCloud gonna have to get back over there at some point.
It feels like again, it could be a pretty easy play. He's got everything, although, again, if you're waiting to find Lamp, and we happen to know exactly where Lamp can and should be, Yeah, taking a look at everything else that's in Logic right now, it feels like, and everything else they found, it feels like they were designed to get that lamp at this point in time.
I'm not so certain. Because I haven't seen anything else that's lamp locked. Except for that Master Sword. It's very possible that it's either way, but I'm really curious to see which one it is. And these runners are trolling me.
Yeah, it's like I think both of us are really like, we know where the sequence break is. Just seal the sequence break. It's going to be progression for you either way. Just do it.
Looks like Khanster's trying to pull off the hammer jump here. I'm not sure I agree with this play on account of not having the big key.
Maybe it's just swag. You just want to show off a little bit. I don't
There
blame
is
him
that.
for it. And again, if you know the dark rooms, you can kind of get around here and do it in one pass instead of backtracking. I have a hard time thinking that it saves that much time if you're having to do it dark, but I don't know.
He picked up an item.
Oh, okay. So Dragus found the lamp in Tower of Hera.
Okay, so Zora has the flute.
Zora has the flute.
Or Zora has something leading to the flute. So, like, mushroom book, I think is what does it.
Yeah, yeah.
But here's the funny part about the lamp. So you find it here in Tower of Hera, along with the small key.
Which means you have to use the lamp to access the basement for your second item. So your fire source is just right there.
Now, of course, Tower of Hera is a pendant dungeon, so there's no real desire to go in there. So Khanster may not pick up the lamp at all.
I mean, it's a green pendant. Why are you...
Oh,
Dragus.
Maybe he's already done the thing.
Dragus, I have to have a word with you.
Well, we're leaving that green pendant behind. Apparently, it wasn't the small key downstairs. I'm guessing. No, he's done the green pendant. I'm a smart person.
Yeah,
he's
done the green pendant.
Being.
I am more concerned that Dragus left the main reason you go up Death Mountain behind, in that he didn't do any of the east side. None of it.
He knows the sequence break now. He's checking up on these areas. So he's like, okay, so I sequence broke around the lamp, but I found the lamp, so I guess the flute is now available, and that's money. When he didn't know if it was the lamp or the flute, he was probably like, eh. But now that he knows it's the flute, he's like, yeah, give me that, please.
All right, so he's going to be on his way over to Zora. Going to get these King's Tomb, I think, in the process.
It seems likely.
I really still would have liked for him to come over here in the Dark World so we can get that graveyard ledge at the same time. If something is there, it's really putting this out of the way. But
That
wait.
sure is true.
But wait. Flute, hookshot, bow. That's no mode.
With the possible exception of Misery Mire requiring the Bombos medallion.
Okay, that's fair.
But you want to get that flute so you can find that out.
But okay, so 66% chance of no mode.
Mm-hmm.
And we're at sub 1 hour. That's kind of incredible. Oh, we need Fire Rod or Bombos for Ice Palace as well.
Oh,
okay.
wow. I dumbed on that one. Sorry about that.
No, yeah, so did I. Thank you, chat. That was silly of us. I mean, what do you mean we can't just, hit those ice things over the head with the lamp?
And the flute is at Zora, as we expected. Meaning Dragus is now going to get a visit from everybody's favorite swag duck.
It occurs to me that the community has named just about everyone in this game. You know, we have Gary, the old man, Gary's lunchbox, the generous guy. Sahasrara, of course, already has a name. The
He's got
Swag
about
Duck,
14
though.
names.
Yeah. The Swag Duck, though, seems a little bit non-personal.
I didn't say the Swag Duck. I said Swag Duck. That's his
So
name.
his name is just Swag Duck.
Correct. All one word.
Capitalized like a proper noun.
Yeah. Actually, it's Swag Duck, all one word. All one word. No, I'm kidding. Anyway.
Oh my god.
So, DragusCloud will be heading over to Misery Mire. Will be checking that medallion out. What is it? It is Ether. Vanilla medallion today. And that means Mire is available. We do want to go ahead and get that Bombos or Fire Rod for Ice Palace. Dragus hadn't checked that ledge there.
I mean, I don't think he had checked that ledge earlier, but when you're going full tilt, you just kind of use it to turn around, I suppose.
You also get the thing. One of the things you're doing at this point is I'm just going to go get things. And if once I get the thing that I need, then I am done.
That is fair. Khanster is leaving Palace of Darkness. I'm not quite sure if he finished up. I don't think he did.
Due to that lack of lamp. And unfortunately, if he's expecting it to be on Zora, that will not be the case.
Our tracker messaged me. He's like, no, he didn't. He didn't do anything. Thank you. Thank you so much. Shout out to our tracker, Yoko, by the way. Big props for helping keep us in the loop because, as you can clearly tell, Bob and I have too much fun just joking with one another and don't actually watch the race as often as we should.
Alright, so DragusCloud going to the big chest, finds a piece of heart.
Khanster, the first to go over here and check what's in this graveyard ledge. If this happens to be our fire source, either the Fire Rod or Bombos, our ticket into Ice Palace, that is officially no mode.
No!
Yeah, no big deal. NBD.
I think this is one of those rare occasions where you could say that spontaneous combustion would be a good thing.
I can agree with that. I can get behind that. Okay, so Dragus is getting ready to fight his Land Molus, my new least favorite boss. I'm going to say that.
Oh, right. The whole Bombs and Brian strats, huh?
I reserve the right to be salty about it for the rest of round 2, and then I'm done with it.
Yeah. I actually learned how to do Bomb Land Molas as part of a Randomizer that was done.
I didn't even know it was possible. I'll be perfectly honest. I do experiment a little bit in that run. Anyway, Dragus has a much easier time and gets going and is rewarded with $5.
Khanster is going to go make the play on Swamp Palace. It's a very interesting development here.
I mean, he's got everything, and there are 6 treasure chests in Swamp Palace that he could possibly get. So I like the play. The problem is, we only need one thing. He still isn't going up to that Zora area. I don't know if he realizes that was the sequence break, and that's going to be where he needs to go.
Yeah, the only way... Hey, look, a magic cape.
It'll be handy on Ganon.
But yeah, at this point, if you recognize that the sequence break was a thing, you know that you need to go to Zora. So I feel like routing that in with Catfish or something like that while you were up there doing King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks and Graveyard Ledge might have been a good call.
At this point, the question is, does he know? I mean, I'm sure he knows he did the sequence break at this point in time. It's just a matter of when he goes back to fix it, because he's got to go back for that. There's no completing this game without giving, 500 rupees to a fish man.
All right, so Dragus will be going into Misery Mire now. Now, I'm not going to lie. The last time I had a seed where where Skullwoods and Turtle Rock were pendants, the only fire source I needed was in Turtle Rock. And it was the Bombos medallion in the first chest.
I mean, the troll is absolutely possible at this point in time. Turtle Rock, we've already been in Skullwoods and kind of gotten at least one item there. We've already cleared out Tower of Hera, which had the lamp, which is technically required. But Turtle Rock is a pendant dungeon that has 5 items plus Mimic chest, so 6th item thrown in there. It's entirely possible that our logic is there, particularly since we can at least get in the front door and check that first chest. We are not guaranteed to get any further past at this point in time, because the entire dungeon might be fire rod blocked.
Yep. Now, Khanster is going to go to the left side of Swamp. Has not gotten the small key in the main room. So it may look like he's flooding the key, but he didn't. He got that and then walked around. Taking this vanilla route very seriously. And he's already found 2 items. And the big key. And we found 1 item, it looks like, over in Mire.
Alright, so Dragus coming up on the vanilla big key location, everyone's favorite cutscene. Take your time, go ahead, stack up on your adult beverages if you can.
Alright, left side Swamp has a piece of heart and the map, so left side Swamp, as usual, complete bust.
It seems to be so frequently a complete bust, except for when
until when you don't
it.
check it.
Oh, that's the second item there in Misery Mire for Dragus. Only 2 items in Misery Mire. Both of them were 10 arrows, so as soon as he gets the big key, he's good to go.
You gotta go get that key, Khanster. I think Khanster might be experiencing a little bit of consternation on that left side there.
How long were you holding on to that one, really?
The whole time.
Just checking.
To be honest, if I were Khanster myself, I would call all of my Twitch followers the Consternation.
Oh my god. That's horrible and amazing all at the same time. I hope he considers it. No,
All right, now we're
no.
stretching.
Yeah, now, okay.
All right, so that is a plus just another 10 arrows and then big 20. Swamp Palace coming up bupkis right now. We'll have to see what Argus has.
Dragus is on his way over here to Vitreous. With Cape and Half Magic and Tempered Sword, it's not going to be a terribly difficult fight. No silvers, though, so it's not like kind of maximum ease.
Right. So we're going to see some solid Cape strats. With the Cape, if you just spam the sword, you will not lose magic nearly as fast. And so that's what Dragus is taking advantage of.
Just looked like some bombs over there on Conster's side with his defeat of Argus. Gets a crystal. Dragus over here gets the compass and his crystal.
Yep, so Khanster's clearing out Swamp Palace, finding nothing. Kind of a bit of a cause for concern. And he starts moving on to his next destination. I think Catfish Zora might be a thing.
I really hope he makes that play early. Dragus, however, looks like he's going to go over and make the play into the Pod Eastern combo, which is going to net him his Hookshot.
It's very nice. One thing I'm surprised about is the fact that we have not seen Paradox Cave or Super Bunny or Hookshot Cave. All of that remains to be checked.
Yeah, that's... this is the first seed I think I've been a part of where neither runner has just made a beeline up to Death Mountain as soon as they can, and just with everything that is possibly up there. I mean, even Lightside is, 8 treasure chests on its own?
That is true. Oh, it looks like Khanster has not checked any of the Flipper Lock locations.
Well, he will be happy to go ahead and see his flute here directly.
So go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to answer a question in chat. The Super Bunny Cave is called the Super Bunny Cave because you can go in there with the Moon Pearl or without the Moon Pearl, and as long as you fall down the hole above the 2 chests, it activates what's called the Super Bunny state, which allows you to open those 2 chests as a bunny.
Yeah, the Super Bunny glitch is available only in a handful of areas. It is also most commonly used, if not in that area, then at least more commonly now, in the Misery Mire Shed area. It's been so long since anyone's used that glitch, and again, any glitch is outside of logic, so most people don't even bother with it right now. But the name is kind of stuck from the early versions of Randomizer.
So, DragusCloud picks up that Hookshot and is going to make a beeline for Helmasaur. Meanwhile, Khanster picked up the flute on Zora and will be flying away. momentarily.
This is really kind of an intense, close race between these two, in particular since they're nowhere near each other right at the moment.
I imagine Khanster will have to pick up the flute before he finishes on account of that that unfortunate mishap in Palace of Darkness. And of course, both players will need to pick up the Bombos Medallion or the Fire Rod.
Yeah, I think if you had to put a gun to my head, Dragus has a pretty solid advantage right now. The play was Tower of Hera with that lamp. He's navigating these dark rooms a whole lot easier. Looked like Khanster backed out and could not actually complete pod. And there's a lot of dark rooms that he's not going to be able to navigate. For example, Misery Mire, while he's over here, he's just not going to be able to do without that lamp.
Dragus is unleashing a bee on Helmasaur. I don't think this is going to be particularly useful in general, but at least it gets the swag done.
That tells me he might be releasing that and getting ready to make a visit up to the Witch's Tower, maybe preparing for a trip up to Turtle Rock.
There is that possibility. Now, with the hookshot in hand, we may see a play on Swamp. I imagine Eastern will be the first thing that happens, though.
I certainly hope so. And we see Khanster actually is dipping Misery Mire. This is not good news for him. And I don't necessarily mean to be a judge of players' performance, but if you can't do the dark rooms in Palace of Darkness, the Misery Mire dark rooms are considerably more challenging.
I actually find them a little easier.
I hate you, Dr. Bob.
Because I'm bad at the turtle room. Like, I'm so bad at the turtle room.
The turtle room is horrible, and I guess there's like one or two setups in that fireball face room that can be done, but everything else is just off. I don't know. The general consensus is Misery Mire is a little bit difficult in the dark rooms. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, the problem with Misery Mire is you have to have the setup for the block switch. That's the real difficult part of Misery Mire. And if you don't have that setup, it's going to be really difficult to do. Otherwise, the rest of it can be kind of forced your way through as long as you have like potions and safeties.
And
right.
Dragus making his way through. Khanster is going to be finding his 2 items. Remember, Vitreous did not have...
He is not going to find his 2 items.
Oh, he doesn't have a fire source.
Yep, they were both behind the fire-locked rooms.
Why?
Maybe get magic? Nah, he's peacing out.
Okay, yeah, I think he was thinking the same thing that I was thinking at that point. It's like, why am I doing this right at the moment?
All right, he's going to go take a look into Desert. That will once again not lead him to exactly where he wants to go.
Desert is also a firelock dungeon. He'll be able to clear everything out, but again, Landmole is not able to be accessed if you don't have a fire source. So at this point, Dragus has a pretty set advantage. What does Khanster have to do to get him back into this race?
Well, he needs to go to Hera, I think. Once he's gotten into Hera, he can get the lamp, and that will lead him on the path of righteousness.
I'm trying to think, if he finds something way out of the way, if he finds Fire Rod or Bombos way out of the way and makes a gamble, I can see that playing to his advantage as long as he gets that lamp in the process. So, I don't know, maybe going up for a Spike Cave check and it's there.
Yeah, that's a possibility. All right, Dragus, as you suspected, heading over to the potion shop to purchase some safeties.
See, I've been working on my telepathy game here. What do you guys think?
And I don't think Swamp is the dungeon you would want safeties for it. I don't think he's going to Swamp. Well, I have been corrected.
It's okay, Bob. I'll teach you my telepathy strats later.
Yeah, there is that.
Again, I think it makes sense when you're Dragus and you only have one item to go in go mode, and you know it at this point. You're just looking for some sort of fire source to open up Ice Palace. If you can clear a crystal dungeon, clear a crystal dungeon. And he's going to do that. This place has a lot of treasures. He's not going to find it. In fact, he's even going to skip left side, clear the boss, and then go back and get it because there is one item over there.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, when in this particular instance, if I were running it, I would also check left side the first time I went in because the hookshot was locked behind the other items required to get into Mire. I mean, not Mire, Swamp. So that meant that the left side of Swamp was open for longer than the back. And I've ran the numbers on this, and it turns out that the left side is 50% more likely when you get the hookshot later than hammer, mirror, and flippers.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's not like, 50% overall likely, but it goes from 11% to 18%.
All right. So Khanster is finally going over to Death Mountain. I don't recall a later Death Mountain than 118. Does find the Book of Mudora over here, though, in his first 2 treasure chests.
That could be a distraction, or it could be important.
Vanilla Bombos, maybe?
Maybe. We are going to hope he has the occasion to go into Hera. We do find the silver arrows in Paradox Cave.
Here's the funny thing. Even though these have been available to us for ages, if Dragus gets Fire Rod or Bombos, he's going to completely miss those silvers.
Yep, that could lead to an interesting situation in the end game. And we do see Dragus currently skipping left side. He may be inclined to head back in after the back.
I can almost guarantee he'll be heading in. There will still be one item left on that side. We happen to know it's just a heart container that Khanster found earlier. But I can almost promise you he's not going to leave that one item to chance. Oh my god!
Fire Rod in the spiral cave. That's that's technically go mode here.
It's no mode for us. Khanster still will have to go and grab that lamp out of Tower of Hera.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't actually he doesn't actually possibly need the lamp, especially since the fire rod means you can light those torches in the turtle room, making it much easier. But he wants the lamp. We can tell.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We are going to go ahead and activate the warp on top of Turtle Rock.
I hope he doesn't go into Turtle Rock thinking he has to go in here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes ahead and opens it, but I don't think he's going to actually go in. So, like, here's the tiniest trick. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You have the boots when you use that Quake medallion, and you medallion dash instead of use it, you will be in super speed coming off of those stairs.
Oh, nice.
It's a really tiny trick. Because you'll be jumping off the edge right after that.
Oh, Dragus realizes he's going to have to go back in because he needs some more treasures. Khanster finding a bee in a bottle, 20 rupees. He's not going to be happy with his finds here.
Now, but the good news is, because he found the fire rod, if he goes into Hera, he will not be debated into finishing it.
Yeah, because that lamp was absolutely. It was like it was the first treasure chest, not the first treasure location, but the first chest.
Now, Dragus, for some reason, left that till the end, but I don't think that's what most people tend to do. Super Bunny Cave, more like Super Money Cave today.
Heyo!
Double 3 hundo. So Khanster is now debating which pendant dungeon do I want to go into right now.
It's right up here. You know what? I think a Tower of Hera would be a much more solid play than Turtle Rock.
Yeah,
Oh, he's also going to use that book and check. Okay.
Yeah, we'll check the we'll check that ether tablet and maybe take a dip into Hera, which is going to be the best possible thing for Khanster right now.
Absolutely. Dragus will be just about done. He's trying to get these last couple.
Oh no! Don't go!
Oh, he's floating away.
All right, so it looks like Khanster will be heading over to Desert and Mire, perhaps being okay with that lack of lamp.
I don't know.
Maybe he's like me and finds the Misery Mire Dark Room to be tolerable as long as you know that setup, and with the Fire Rod can deal with the Dark Room in Pod.
So the question becomes then, how much of an advantage can Khanster, what happens first? Does Khanster go into Tower of Hera first, or does Dragus go up to Death Mountain that has a ton of treasure chests first?
I think Dragus is going to Death Mountain.
Yeah.
And if he routes this like people normally would, there's no reason he won't pick up those silver arrows as well.
Yeah, usually you go up first, and then you come back down for the Spiral Cave, which has the fire source.
But as soon as he hits Spiral Cave, that will be it. He will be in go mode and just booking it.
Yeah, as a reminder for anyone he's starting on the dark side.
Yeah, I think he's actually going to do the interesting strat where you mirror in front of the Paradox Cave. Do your thing.
Yeah, he's going to do the thing.
And we also found the blue boomerang down there. I didn't notice that as it was happening.
Yep. So Dragus is preparing to put himself in go mode. And for chat, if you guys are new, I know we asked this earlier, but I just want to make sure everyone understands. If you are new to Randomizer, go mode is a term that we use whenever you have all the items necessary to get all 7 crystals and climb Ganon's tower to defeat Aghanim and then defeat Ganon.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I think Dragus is gonna skip Spiral Cave.
Oh, that would be horrible.
For now. I imagine that will change later. But I imagine this will not be a permanent skipping of Spiral Cave, but I mean you do get a faster chest density this way, so it doesn't seem bad.
Yeah, we say oh no, but it's actually efficient routing if you don't know it.
And Khanster is just going to Vidi. We'll see how those strats work out.
We're going to be a little bit blind to what he's doing. Now, the question I'm concerned about, does Dragus do something crazy like dip Turtle Rock before checking Spiral Cave?
That would be a way that this could go sideways.
Oh, okay. He's going over here to the light world on this one.
Yeah, he's going to check the floating island. I don't think he actually looked at it at any point. So,
well, no. I mean, we've not been to this side of the light world yet.
Khanster is trying desperately to get that block on the switch.
Oh, he's at half a heart. He's been bodied hard this up to this point in time. Oh, and Dragus is going to make it right as Khanster takes a death.
Oh, what?
Oh,
he's going to check Ether Tablet first.
He's either going to check Ether Tablet or he's going to check Spike Cave.
Okay.
So Khanster opting to go ahead and do Desert Palace, which is the dungeon he can complete.
Fortunately, he's not going to get that lamp here. Alright, so DragusCloud, after a brief detour into the Dark World, now hitting up Spiral Cave, where you will find his go mode item, the Fire Rod.
Meanwhile, Khanster is still looking for that lamp for him. The more we talk about this, the more, that was a crazy gamble up there to go up to Tower of Hera at that point in time. I mean, it was within logic, and I expected him to do the East Death Mountain at that point in time. He didn't do East Death Mountain, but he got the lamp, and that has been the play of the game, hasn't it?
Yeah, though if he'd also done East Death Mountain, he would have been done by now.
So Dragus is in go mode, and he has one crystal dungeon left to do at 129. He's going to get to go mode Ice Palace, which is about as fast as you would want to do it.
Indeed. We'll get to see some very nice bomb jump strats coming up.
Khanster with a nice zero cycle using silvers on Landmo.
Wow. Very nice silver strats.
So Khanster has now defeated 4 crystal bosses. The crystals that he can't quite get to, Pod, Misery, Mire, are unfortunately locked behind dark rooms. And then he has Ice Palace, which he could technically do right now. At this point, I'm kind of wondering, oh, is he going to do this? I don't know where he's going, actually.
Looks like we're going to check Bumper Cave. I don't think it's possible he hasn't checked that. And with just, he just got the cape recently.
Oh, that looks like the right setup. He's got the bomb jump.
Very nice.
That bomb jump is kind of, speed running 101 in this particular game. You can complete Ice Palace so much faster just by knowing that bomb jump. It's one of the little tricks that I think everyone learns pretty quickly.
Yeah, it saves a great deal of time and turns what would otherwise be a slog of a dungeon into a pretty quick run.
And as you see, he's not picking up anything. He's got silvers. He's got tempered. He's got blue mail. He's good. He's armed to the teeth as much as he wants to be for Ganon.
Seems legit.
Khanster, meanwhile, is going through Skull Woods. I don't recall if there was anything here. I don't believe so.
I believe we found one item in the front, and we never checked the back. So Khanster will be probably heading over to the back and thinking that Mothula might be required.
And ladies and gentlemen, DragusCloud does go ahead and defeat Cold Stare. Very, very nicely done. Now it is time for everyone's favorite game in the randomizer community. You can participate if you've either subscribed to any of the Speed Gaming network of channels, or if you've donated at least 250 bits to any of the channels. It is our Ganon's Tower Big Key Guessing Game. There are 22 treasure chests in Ganon's Tower that can possibly contain the big key. We're going to open them in order, and whoever gets the closest to the number will be added to our leaderboard as long as you've subscribed or donated the bits. Dr. Bob, I already know which one you're going to pick.
Yeah, I'm going with 14. And of course, you're welcome to participate either way, but of course you won't be added to the leaderboard unless you meet those criteria. DragusCloud getting revenge on Dead Rocks.
I'm going to go with number 1. I mean, this seed is just run them all over. I really think it's probably going to be 22 or closer to that, but number 1, because no one guessed that yet, I don't think.
Seems legit. I think 2, 12, 1, 9, and 4 is 4 too many guesses than you actually get.
Uh, 135 DragusCloud. I'm not entirely sure what Dragus's personal best is, but he's doing very, very well at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Now, to be fair, this seed did kind of hand things to them.
Oh, absolutely. It was a very kind seed, all things considered. It kind of
It
pulled
was a little slow
out.
starting out, but it picked right up.
Yeah, really, the lamp and the fire rod wasn't intended to be a go mode item. That was East Death Mountain. It was right there.
Or is that a guess for all 5 keys? The 4 small ones and the big one.
All right, and DragusCloud does enter Ganon's Tower, so we're going to close our entries now.
All right, chest number 1 is a mushroom.
I lose.
Number 2 is a small key.
Very traditional routing here, starting with the first 2 chests on the right side, then switching over to the left. 3 is just a piece of heart, and he's gonna kill Bob!
Why did Bob have to die in vain today?
Because it was right there.
There's that.
For those of you who don't know, the anti-fairy at the very top floor of this is we have like to call him Bob, because it's a glitched out anti-fairy that only exists in the randomizer in this particular version, and he only exists if you do not collect the item that is on that torch. There's our ice rod and another bean of bottles. So we know where all bottles are now.
Alright, so we found a 3rd small key total from the different chests up here, which, according to my data-driven model, means that's the most likely occasion for the big key to be in tile room. But it's right there.
That is, ladies and gentlemen, that is number 8 in the traditional logic. That's what I usually pick. Oh my god, I feel bad.
And our closest supporter was Jerky7. Congratulations.
GG. Now, Dragus is going to be climbing up the gauntlet at the moment. Silvers, I mean, he's going to be doing fine. He still has that 1 blue potion that he bought all that time ago, doesn't he?
Yep, looks like it. Meanwhile, Khanster clearing out some things here in Ice Palace. Still desperately searching for that lamp.
I mean, that's the key difference, and this is probably as much of a reminder to anyone. I'm not big on doing dark rooms, but if you absolutely are, what I would say, serious about being as good as you can possibly be in speed running, learn your dark rooms for this exact reason.
Drake's getting trolled a little bit by sword beams here in the gauntlet. But the sword beam's also being put to good use in the next room.
We had a conversation the other day about whoever designed this gauntlet and just said, okay, how can we make this worse? More ice!
More ice. And of course, picking the 2 enemies in the game with the most RNG involved in their movement.
So just doing sword swings right now. I think Dragus is feeling pretty good about his race at the moment.
And Khanster will be dealing with Cold Stare.
Oh, got him into the corner for a little bit, then they escaped. Oh, he's going to have to be careful. He's at 2.5 hearts.
Yeah, a single hug will destroy you. But he makes it out in time just fine, picks up that big 20, and will be off on his way. So this second Wizrobe room can be a little tricky to one cycle, even with the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, it takes kind of a certain setup to do, and if you're not accustomed to doing it, it can certainly be a little bit difficult. I've not mastered it yet, so I can't really say anything about how to do it. But all right, Dragus is in these other wonderful lamp rooms. He has plenty of keys to get through here.
Yep, no problem whatsoever. No interest in picking up an upgrade of any kind in those chests.
And here comes Moldorm 2. Dragus did defeat Moldorm earlier. Did he ever turn in the green pendant?
I don't believe so.
We had a ped check, and I missed it. Oh, Khanster was looking for what was on the ped. That could have guided him up there.
There is that possibility. Looks like couch cash.
And our wonderful tracker does remind us, yeah, he did go ahead and check what was on Saha, and it was just money. Thank you, Yoko. So Khanster now looking around and going, okay, I just need something that doesn't require a dark room.
He's going over to Bombo's tablet.
Oh my god, I'm wondering if Khanster thinks that he can't find the lamp on Death Mountain because of that logic.
Yeah, it's definitely not the case.
That was not the case because we had the flute below, but if he's thinking that the lamp is required and doesn't realize the flute is also unlockable, he's not going to go up there at all.
Yeah, if Aghanim is at the top of the screen and about to throw a ball, it will disappear because it's in the wall.
And Dragus is on his way to the big pig. He's armed to the teeth at 143.
Getting as close to the vanilla text as we can here in the space allotted as we move on to fight Ganon. So we're going to want 12 slashes per phase to get through the first two. The first phase is done, and now we start the second phase. Now, none of those initial slashes counted, but once the trident started spinning, then you're in business. And we have made it to phase 3.
Blinking around. It's always interesting that when the stream is streamed at 30 frames a second and the runners are going at 60 frames a second, so for a while it looks like Ganon completely disappears.
Sure does. All right, Ganon.
Come on.
We know you like jumping around. Did we find the arrows in Death Mountain? You bet we did.
Oh, that is horrible for Dragus. I mean, he's got a really substantial lead at this point in time. But man, that's horrible.
I'm not gonna lie, I might have seen that one coming.
And Dragus is getting right back to it.
Yep. But it looks like Khanster is headed up Death Mountain. Oh, I think he's just going for Spike Cave.
That does look like he's setting up the Spike Cave check.
And we're on to phase 2, this time without the cape strats. Or with the cape strats.
I think he's trying to conserve his magic as best he can through this particular part, hoping to save that blue potion.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to use it at some point on account of, you gotta light those torches somehow.
Is Ganon going to give us the same number of teleports as he did the first time?
No. Khanster did some interesting strats there at Spike Cave, getting spin speed on the way out.
I mean, that's kind of swaggy, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, we got the green potion that we found way back in Zara's closet. And there we go, DragusCloud finishing it off.
GG to DragusCloud. His official time will be recorded as soon as he enters the Triforce room.
Yep, and that time is an apparent 147.31. Of course, we as commentators don't actually have access to that number.
Not anymore, no. I miss it a little bit.
And Khanster has found the lamp just moments after the dot done from his opponent.
Absolutely. GG to Dragus, and Khanster finally finding the lamp is in his go mode.
All right, we'll see if we can get Dragus in here to talk about this mess. There he is. And we are now joined in chat by our winner, DragusCloud. Dragus, GG.
And I think you're still muted, Dragus. Or Dragus. Okay. There you are. Muted.
There you are. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So the play of the game by far was that gutsy call to go up and do Tower of Hera, where you find the lamp and your opponent just found it.
Oh, that's how far he is?
Yeah, he just now found the lamp. He's actually cleared out everything that didn't require the lamp. So he's done desert, but he hasn't done Mire or pod yet because of those annoying dark rooms.
I was thinking about doing dark rooms, but then I found a lamp.
Yeah, it's very well played on that.
Well, and your go mode item really was that fire rod, and I'm curious because it felt like that you were putting off going up there.
I almost forgot about actually getting Fire Rod. Then realizing that I needed something for Ice Palace.
Yeah, so did we.
Yeah, I was basically gold mode, but I really wanted silvers.
I do want to ask about the decision after you finished Tower of Hera. You didn't go over to the right-hand side of the mountain.
So I knew that when I skipped to go up Death Mountain in the darkness, there had to be a way to go up
right.
Death Mountain by logic. So I realized that there were two places for me to look for flute.
Right, that meant that the flute was right up at the front of your mind. You're like, I have to go get that right now.
Grab that now, do dungeons, worry about that later.
Yeah, and make sure that you have the medallion for Mire and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very excellent call. Though, if you had gone to the right side, you would have had that fire rod.
I would have had Fire Rod.
And silvers.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I haven't really seen you run so much, Dragus. What's your PB?
I don't know. I've not been keeping track of what my PB is. I think I've got a 1.5 hour one, maybe. What? I don't know.
All right, but this is still an excellent time. Like, not even joking. This is really good.
Thank you.
As you were going through this seed, was there any point in time that you felt like, you know, maybe you made a bad gamble or a good gamble, or you felt good about your decisions or not so good?
Think when I got the Titan's mitts, I was like, he probably wouldn't have gotten the shovel for a while.
Well, turns out both of you actually grabbed the shovel about as early as it was available. And your opponent actually grabbed the shovel and went to the dig spot immediately.
I went to Palace of Darkness, and that got me like tempered.
Yeah, that had to feel pretty good.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you did have to come back to get the hookshot.
Yeah, that's what happens going in without bow.
But at least you could finish it when you came back.
Yeah.
I think you were the first one to find the bow.
Yes, I believe so. I think it was right there on that K45.
Yeah, and Khanster actually went to the light world, went to the dig spot in the light world, so missed it.
Yeah. It's like getting the mitts meant I could just go straight to Thieves Town.
Yep, that turned out to be a pretty nice spot to go. Wasn't anything important in there, but hey, it's a crystal and you could get rid of it.
Did he hunt down flute before going up Death Mountain?
Oh wait, Kane was in there, right?
Kane was, yeah.
Okay, where am I thinking Bo was?
No, Kane. Bo was warping from south of the.
Yeah, Bo was in Cave 45 or Grove Cave,
yeah.
But Kane was in Thieves Town.
Kane Thieves Town.
So
Thieves Town, big chest. To be honest, what do you know?
I know this was a long time ago, but let's talk about that escape sequence, because it didn't give you guys much of anything to really work with, did it?
We got bombs, and I blew myself up. And
Yeah.
I almost blew myself up again.
Yeah, both runners had plenty of trouble in the escape, and that's what you expect when you get the bomb start.
Yeah.
But it
Bombs is like the worst, practically.
But it really didn't even give you anything else to work with. Like, everything else was like the single rupee or the single arrow. It was just kind of teasing you, I felt.
You had the ether medallion, but of course it was like, haha, you can't use me because you ain't got no sword.
Gave us ether, and what do you know? It was still required.
True. Misery Mire did require it, so.
All right, so Khanster just finished off his 7th crystal dungeon. So he will be heading up to GT now. So is there anything else you'd like to say about this seed before we continue to follow Khanster to the end of this mess?
Nothing much. Nothing that I can really think of.
All right. Well, congratulations once again, and good luck in the next round.
You too. Oh, thank you.
All right. So Khanster going to be making his way up to Ganon's Tower, and you're welcome to hang around with us or whatever you want to do, but you can... but I imagine you have other things you might want to do.
I'm like not even sure if I can watch yet.
No, you're totally allowed. Go ahead and go to speed gaming if you want to. Please, feel free to join us. Chat would love to talk with you. And remember, ladies, gentlemen, and other folks in chat, GG once again to DragusCloud. If you like what you saw from him, go ahead and give him a follow here on Twitch. He'll be joining us in chat shortly, so feel free to pepper him with all sorts of invasive questions.
Oh, quick question. How do you pronounce that name?
DragusCloud.
Dragus. Okay.
I had to get my vowel correct, and it was bothering me.
So yeah, he's sitting there now.
All right, so Khanster entering Ganon's Tower.
We'll see if he makes goes to the right full first, or if he makes the left, does the same thing, start with the right and then dip over to the left.
Up. All right, so it looks like the left side play, so that's gonna work out in his favor.
And Khanster is chat's favorite because he didn't kill Bob.
Yeah, what is up with that? That's all I'm saying.
I still checked validation.
True. You did check the last chest in the game.
I must definitely be like 26 behind or something.
Oh, right. The commentary restream is a little bit ahead of what the Twitch sees. That way our commentary kind of syncs up with what's going on.
Yeah.
There we go. Khanster picking up the big key. He'll be heading on up Ganon's Tower.
Alright. I think I'll get out. I'll get out of the voice chat now. Yeah.
All right. So congratulations once again. We'll see you later. We'll see you next round.
See ya.
All right, Khanster's gonna make his way down to the end of this hallway and dash past some spikes as we head up toward the gauntlet.
You know, I'm sure there's an easy way to get past those spikes. I just don't know if I've ever seen it.
I've kind of gotten a timing method down on that now. Like I'll dash down on the sides and then hit the switch and then come around, and I've got a spot where I'll just dash and just make it.
Oh, that's fair.
I just had to trial and error it a few times until I got it.
Very nice first room. That was interesting that he had defeated the enemy, but because the bone that he threw was still in the air, the door didn't register as the enemy being defeated and stayed shut.
Yeah, as I learned before, the criteria with which this game uses to determine if you've killed everything is kind of a interesting thing. What with that new glitch that was newly classified as minor to get through pod's right side without a bow.
Yeah, that's an interesting glitch. For those of you who aren't familiar with that glitch, in the bow right side, the first mimic room, you can't do it in the second one because that's a little bit too excessive. But in that first room, if you, I think it's use a bottle and then keep menuing over, you can move the screen over to the right, and as long as you position the mimics to the point where they are actually off the screen, the room registers them as being dead.
Yeah. So the important part is when you use the bottle, the movement actually has to move the camera, right?
Yeah.
And that's what causes the camera to unlock, and that's actually why you can't do it in the second mimic room, because it's just not possible. Because it's not part of the same group as the rooms below, and you can't horizontally scroll the camera before going into it.
Now, it's kind of a minor glitch of indeterminate value. I don't know if I've seen anyone take full advantage of it, although in this particular seed,
Yeah, it would have been
big. Not that these guys didn't already glitch their way through a shortcut already.
That would have been the best. Like, you get that hookshot and you're like, all right, now we're in business. Also, we know that the bow can't be hookshot locked. That helps.
Oh, absolutely.
Say goodbye to Swamp Palace.
All right, so Khanster on his Muldorm 2 fight. And he doesn't pull the last chest.
I felt that one coming. I believe that's what he did in the last race as well. I think I commentated his last race.
Oh, okay. Do you know him, or he just requests you, or just luck?
It just happened.
That happens. It happens from time to time.
So if you want the real truth, I've been holding on to the consternation joke for like a week.
Okay, totally makes sense then. Oh, nice double there by Khanster.
All right, so Khanster will be finishing off Aghanim, heading over to the Ganon fight. This should be a pretty straightforward fight.
You know what we didn't ask Dragus about?
Was that?
His Ganon fall.
And nobody wants to dwell on that.
I just realized, I'm like, oh, I wonder if that made him nervous at all. All right, Conster pulling out cape strats for this. Cape going on early.
And we make it to phase 3. So now we get to see Ganon do his giant Scotty impression and teleport all over the place.
My God, same one, same movement.
Whew.
Man, that was
A little close to Ganon for
real
comfort
close.
there.
Yeah.
Very nice double. Lighten it up for the fourth and final hit. And there we go. Khanster finishing off Ganon with the 4th silver arrow. And it looks like he's already joined us in the chat. Yes, he's finished this a little bit ahead of time. Congratulations on finishing that.
Oh God, that elusive lamp.
Yeah, the lamp just trolling you for days. We thought maybe you were going to head into Hera while you were up checking that ether tablet, but that didn't happen, unfortunately.
Like, I was originally trying to kind of do Mire in the dark.
Yeah, we saw it, and that was, I mean, Mire in the dark is, I mean, not an easy thing for anyone to do. Period.
Like, I found the spot, but I kept getting hit by the damn little guys. Because I can do most everything in the dark, and I was just like, I really didn't want to do pod in the dark.
Yeah, that turtle room can be a real drag. With that fire rod, it becomes a little easier, but you didn't have that the first time you went in. And of course, that stupid Mire dark room can really troll you for days. Getting that switch covered with the block in the dark is just an actual nightmare.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, and you identified the exact spot. Dragus actually went up pretty early and checked Tower of Hera. He got the lamp. He knew that you both had sequence broken getting up to Death Mountain, because you both did. You had neither the lamp or the flute. So once he went up there and saw that the lamp was in Tower of Hera, he kind of made a beeline for Zora, because that was the only place he hadn't checked at that point in time, and knew that the flute was going to be there.
Yeah, I didn't know that the lamp was there, because the next time I had gone up there, I had Hookshot.
Yeah.
So that was much, much later.
Duck call for sale.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, well played. Again, congratulations on finishing.
I mean, it could have been... Both times I got trolled by an item that was my go mode.
That is how it tends to be.
Last time it was the cane on Bumper Cave, and now it was in Tower of Hera.
Okay, so that would explain why you routed over to check that what was on Bumper Cave. It was kind of an out of the way spot, I think, when you were checking that, but so you got trolled by that item in your last race.
Yes, that's why let me check what's here.
It's like, it is not here again, is it? Okay.
Yeah, I think you commented my last race, so you know.
Yeah, I do. And I also knew that
my
you were going to
opponent
troll us
check-
on that last chest.
What was it?
I think it was just a piece of art.
Yeah, because I'm like, I wasn't even looking at the time or speed race. I'm like, if he's close to done, he's either in GT or fighting Ganon.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't even looking. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, so we don't know where the fourth sword was. We never found it. But you guys
Also,
didn't need
we
it.
both picked up the same 3 swords, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's in one of the dungeons or Fat Fairy, unless he checked Fat Fairy.
He did not. Misery Mire was one of the last dungeons he beat. Well, no, he had
That was
Ice
pretty early,
Palace.
actually.
Yeah, actually, you're probably right. I think Swamp was... Well, he did Swamp, and then he went looking for the Fire Rod or Bombos to get into Ice.
Jeez.
Of course, both of you got, debated by Swamp with nothing in there.
Yeah, I'm like, because I went to Swamp early on, so I was like, there's gotta be some of value. So I'm like, I have to check left side. There's something of value. There has to be. Because it was too early in the run to rule it out.
Yeah, I mean, you did get the hammer and the flippers quite early, and the hookshot was behind it, so the left side is a little more likely that way. But just turned out to be a whole ton of garbage today.
Yeah, even if I didn't get flipper, I was gonna just sequence break half the stuff.
Yep, that does seem likely. So we noticed a very interesting coincidence early on. The bombs were trolling you guys early, trying to
Oh yeah.
after you got out of escape, and then the only two progression spots in Kakariko Village were both locked behind the bombs, and they were both footwear.
Yeah, because I had no bombs going into CAC. I was like, so I chose, let me buy what the guy has for sale. Hopefully he gives me bombs.
Yeah, and then you went down looking for that 50-50 bomb bush. It looked
Which
like
took a while.
Looked like you didn't quite know which one it was.
Yeah, it took some time before it finally, it's like, here it is.
Yeah, that's the one bush that gives you the shot at the bomb there. And of course, once you have that, you can go in the hut and get all the bombs you need, and you're good. And that's clearly what you did. And then it turned out there were bombs in Blind's hut anyway.
I was like, really?
Yeah, just a little bit frustrating there. But yeah, well played. Pretty solid time here, considering how much that lamp trolled you. Now, I do think that if there's anything you might take away from this, it's that the darkroom strats can be pretty useful in getting you through the seed in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, I was trying to do some darkroom Mire, but yeah.
Yeah, it
'Cause I
takes
can't
some real practice.
I mean, it's not like I can use the other cane while I'm placing the block down.
Yeah, and of course you didn't have, say, the fire shield, which would have helped block those fireballs.
I didn't, like, half the time I forgot I even had a shield.
Yep, that came pretty early on and then just kind of poofed away. All right.
Did he check on T-Rock at all or no?
No, nobody went into Turtle Rock. I believe you opened it.
I was like, let me open it in case something's there of value.
Yeah, but there... I don't think you had any intention of actually going in at any point. Especially after finding that fire rod, you're just like, okay, come on, now I need the lamp.
Yeah, I think my
And I
two
believe
biggest...
you know the lamp can't be in there at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe.
My two biggest mistakes that I made was going into Mire and Desert, forgetting I don't have a fire source.
Oh, yeah. Like, we saw you go over to the left side, and I was like, where's he going to go? And you go down, and you're like, you know what? How about no? And it turned out both items in Mire were over there, and they were both 10 arrows.
Yeah, I was just like, ugh.
All right,
All
so...
right. Yeah, GG
Well
to
played.
Khanster. If you like what you guys saw from Khanster, go ahead and give him a follow here on Twitch. Thank you so much, Khanster, for running with us today.
Not a problem.
And guys, don't tune away quite yet. We have so much more speed gaming action going on today. Something that just started over on Speed Gaming the Original. We have Karaoke versus Claris.com. That's going to be a hype race starting here in about a half hour over on ALTTP Randomizer 3. We have Zeal versus Yoinitsvin. But we also have on Speed Gaming 5 right here. We have Someone 325 versus Farain. And then Leslie Pro 04 versus Bredley on Speed Gaming 4. Later tonight, we also, looks like on ALTTP Randomizer, we have Firewood King versus Zelga Dijin. And at 8 o'clock Eastern, Hahasel versus Slim Kirby on ALTTP Randomizer 2. So still lots of rando going on today.
Yep. It's going to be pretty great. So with that, I think it's about time to wrap things up. I want to go ahead and shout out Yoko one more time, our tracker, for keeping track of all the items today. And, of course, my co-commentator, Vitasia, thank you so much.
No, it's always a pleasure to work with you, Bob.
Thank you very much. And again, if you enjoyed anything you saw here today, the best way to thank the people involved is to just give them a follow here on Twitch, and I'm sure we'd all appreciate it. So with that, I think we're going to call it good. And I'll just say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
And I'm Vitasia.
And we'll see you later.